Hey everybody, welcome back to Live Naked Cars. We're really excited today. We're going to be taking a look at a Snap-on truck. We're here with Paul. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and Dominic. So they're going to be talking about, they built this 51 walk-in truck, International. There we go. So yeah, I mean, I guess just kind of walk us through what you did to it, how long you've had it, anything you kind of want to touch on. And
well, I had the idea of doing a vintage Snap-on truck. Okay. So I bought one in Virginia. It was a little bit bigger than this one, and couldn't get anybody to ship it out here. So, long story short, sold that one for the price I paid for this one. Me and a buddy went up to Tahoe, picked it up, and brought it back here. And it actually sat in the back of one of my customers' shops for about 2 years until I found the right toolbox. That set up the whole inside, and without that, I couldn't move forward.
Yeah. So did you always have the mindset of getting one of these kind of trucks and turning it into the Snap-on Tools truck?
No. I'm into Austin Healey's. Okay. So that was my first restoration, was a 59 Austin Healey Sprite.
Which we'll be talking about today as well.
And my wife said, you couldn't do another restoration until I finished our house. Because I have a 55 Austin Healey that's, on the back burner. Yeah. She's like, no, the house comes first. But
happy life.
Well, 2008 happened and the economy went down. So I left Snap-on corporate and went into a Snap-on truck. Okay. So when that happened, it kind of changed things. So I had my own business. So this was a business expense. Okay. So nice. I got a way of doing a restoration and
expense it out to the business.
Or she couldn't say anything because it was for the business.
Yeah, there you go. So, sweet, awesome. So I guess is there anything specifically about the truck that you guys wanted to do with it? You had in mind, or any little key factors that you added personally? And
actually, Dominic came to me and goes, "Hey, I got this idea. Let's do this Snap-on truck. It's something different. It's something you don't see all the time."
Yeah, oh, absolutely not.
He's been in the business forever, so it just seemed like kind of the right thing to do. He started getting the tools together. Okay. And that was his biggest part, was getting all these tools together. He actually started, like you said, the toolbox first. Okay. And got a lot of the tools before we even started the truck. Yeah. And then we just started on it, and it just kept rolling, and we kept getting ideas and more stuff, and it just kind of all came together. Yeah. He was great to work with. We do our builds, but me and Dominic, we just got together good. Yeah. Man, he rounded everything up. He did a lot of work.
He made it run and made it look good.
There you go. Yeah. Perfect. That's perfect combo.
Dude, all the way down, if you could take the body off, you'd be really surprised. The wiring, when I do the wiring, it's all not like a painless kit or anything. It was all the original cloth wiring.
It's very correct.
Yeah, and I had a wiring diagram, and basically he got all the colors we needed, everything all together. Yeah. It's none of those like put on the connector and crimp it with the plastic. It's all shrink tube and solder and
so the way
everything. Yeah. Bottom of original stickers on everything.
So the way it looks now, is this what this kind of truck would look like, or
so anything that you added? My Healey club, I have a club member in there, and he was a Snap-on guy in the 50s. Okay. This is what he had. Okay. So back then, it was a new concept of a walk-in truck. Yeah. So nowadays we have standards. Back then, you did what you wanted. Yeah. So he was a welder, so he welded up some square tubes into tables and some shelves. I do cabinets as a hobby. Okay. So I built cabinets, and I made them look like they were from the 50s. Okay. But I needed to hide the wheel wells. Yeah. So that's kind of why they look the way they look. Yeah. So.
All right. And you were mentioning something earlier about the floors, uniqueness of the flooring that.
The only thing really not correct, but started out not correct, is a wood floor in this truck. It would have just been a steel floor. Yeah. But I wanted it to look like a creeper from back in the day. So I came up with doing all the different logos through the years from 1920 to today on the floor. So I had one of my friends help me do the floor. We milled it, we splined it, We sprayed everything, we put it into place, we put the logos on there, and unfortunately he passed away. So that's one thing I can't replace.
Yeah. So it's special.
It's sentimental.
Yeah, exactly. That adds a lot of value for sure. So.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Me and him, we did the same in a storage unit with no air, no electricity, everything done by hand tools.
It wouldn't fit in a normal garage.
Yeah, we did everything.
Hence why.
Yeah,
that's why we are where we are.
So 2 years, me and him, every Saturday, every Sunday. I think we missed like maybe 2 weekends out of the whole entire 2 years. And we did it piece by piece, take it apart, take it to the powder coater, then come back and assemble it, and next part, next part, next part.
Yeah. Do you happen to know how many total hours it took to?
Oh my God.
You can't look at total hours.
Yeah.
Because there were nights that I was in my garage sandblasting parts.
Yeah.
Extra side stuff that
I build a thing, paint it, put it on the shelf.
Yeah.
I do another thing, paint it, get it put together, put it on the shelf. And then in the storage locker we had shelving, and it was starting to get full of all the parts. And then came the day when that
we could actually
shelving started getting
on. Yeah.
Yeah, that was when we knew we were close.
Yeah.
You know, when you're looking at this truck all the time and you're not really seeing it, and then one day we were coming from the office out of storage, and we turned the corner and the truck was sitting there and we looked at each other like,
yeah, it's something different. Yeah, it was like just all of a sudden, I mean, I don't think the lettering was on it yet. It was just the body was back on it. We were getting inside together.
The paint was done. And
and it was like, wow, you know what?
Look what we did.
All of a sudden, it's just dawned on me, man. You know what? It's coming together. It's looking really good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we're excited to kind of take a peek, but we should take a look at the shop, and we'll take a look at the inside the truck too.
Well, I was keeping this in the storage locker, but I couldn't really charge the batteries. So I finally came across a building that I could afford to rent. So what better place to keep a vintage Snap-on truck but in a vintage little gas station?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So that's
it was fun to work in here.
That's what we did.
Makes it more
It would have been nice to have this when we built it. We had like 4 feet of space all the way around it.
Push the truck out, work on it, push it back in. Then it got to the point where you couldn't push the truck back in.
Triple digit days, man. We were in there because it was just a chassis with no suspension, and we're working on it. And, oh man, hot. Order a pizza, or run down to get a burger, come back, go right back at it.
So it was nice and hot while you were doing it.
Yes, and there was days it was cold too. There was days it was cold and rainy too.
All we had was a blue room. We didn't have a bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, but it makes it a little more special, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, cool. We'll wrap this up and we'll take a look at the shop and the car. But thank you guys.
Great.
Appreciate
Sounds great.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Before you get going, this you did everything. Everything. This is all him. This is design. This is
all me out of my head.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's also from 26 plus years of working for this company.
Yeah.
A lot of history, so I wanted to make sure it was right. I didn't want to have people think that I did something that wasn't correct.
Yeah.
So, back in the day, you kind of did what you wanted. I've had enough reference photos to know that there was pretty much 2 cabinets with a toolbox type of setup here. Yeah. So, trying to find new old stock tools 50 something years later was a bit of a challenge. One of the first things I got was the toolbox that's behind us.
Okay.
This kind of set the tone for the truck, so I knew how big to build the cabinets.
So toolbox went in, and then
toolbox went in, then I knew what dimensions I could build, but I had to make it so that I can hide the wheel wells.
Okay.
That's right. The reason for the look of the box.
Yeah.
So, collected new old stock wrenches. And back in the day, we didn't really make our wrenches when we first started out. We were mostly sockets.
Okay.
So we had a Blue Point line, and that is a new old stock wrench set from 1955.
Blue Point Supreme.
then I found the plier rack, but the original one was huge. So I built this and slimmed it down, made it more to scale of the truck. Yeah. But it's an exact duplicate of the bigger version. Okay. I even painted the logos and everything on the front of it. So,
that's nuts.
This side, these are the first 15 tools that really started this industry. Everything before this, the socket was part of the handle. So if you wanted a half-inch drive socket with a T-handle, you had to buy the handle.
With a T-handle?
You had to buy it with the speeder. You had to buy it with the L-shaped wrench. So Joe Johnson came up with this idea of an interchangeable socket set that would snap onto each other, and that's kind of what started this industry. Yeah. So when I started doing this, it was more of a, I wanted this to be a period correct with the tools and everything, but it actually turned out to be a rolling museum, and I think that that's what gets everybody. Yeah. So back in the day, it wasn't a 1/4-inch drive, 3/8 drive, 1/2-inch drive. It was midget sockets, ferret sockets, and master sockets. So I built the cabinets so it would be correct for that era.
Yeah. The originality.
There's the first catalog compared to the catalog that we use today, which is like an inch thick. This impact gun is from 1953, and it still has the original paper tie on it. It was never used. That's why it's kind of a showcase.
Yeah.
This transmission cabinet was given to me by another Snap-on dealer. It was his dad's cabinet that he had in his shop, and I restored that. That's actually the second restoration in this process. Yeah. The truck being the third, and this 1958 scope being the fourth restoration. So.
And you were saying all the lettering you did.
Hand lettered it with model railroad.
Fun.
It took me 4 weekends sitting in the garage. I think my neighbors thought I was crazy because they had no idea what I was doing. Yeah. They just saw bits and pieces in the garage, and they never knew exactly what I was building until one day I drove it home.
Yeah.
So.
Man, this thing is awesome. I appreciate you letting us kind of walk through your truck.
Sure.
So much. But before we go, I kind of want to touch and get some input and kind of get some info on how you got this truck and where it started and then the whole thing.
So when I sold the other one and found this one online, it was being used as a sign for a carpet warehouse up in Tahoe. Okay. It was chained to a pedestal with a huge sign on the roof, and every time the wind blew, it creased both sides. So that was a little bit of doing to get the bodywork fixed on it.
It was in rough shape, but everything was there.
Okay.
All the diamond plate, the pieces.
That pedestal saved the diamond plate.
Everything was.
So was it running?
No.
Not running.
The brakes were actually locked up on it. We had to winch it up to. I borrowed a friend's car hauler. We actually had to winch it up on a car hauler because the front brakes were locked up. So
you had some fun with this.
Yeah, it was a project.
If it was running and driving, it wouldn't be that much fun tearing it apart and starting all over with it. So.
That's true. So, and you were saying that how long it took you to get everything done underneath?
Yeah, it took us a year to do the chassis, and once it was done and we got the body finished and we put the body on it, it was like, oh man, we're covering up all this whole year.
Almost wanted to do an acrylic floor.
Yeah, I mean, the chassis was so nice, you know, it was a shame to cover it up. But me and Dominic put a time capsule inside one of the panels where we put the date and put our cards in there, thinking, you know, well, maybe 100 years from now, somebody's going to work on it, take the panel and go, oh man, look, here's
and
the
they're going to go, what were these guys thinking?
Yeah.
There's so much time in this, it's underneath the car.
Yeah.
That's cool though, but anything else you guys want to touch on?
Yeah, it's all stocker. One modification we made was it had the original split rims on there.
Okay.
So,
well, there was 16-inch. Yeah. And you could not get white walls in the 16-inch from Cobra Tire. And I don't know if you noticed that all my cars have white walls.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we had to have white walls, so we had to go down to a 15-inch rim. So we had to do the modifications because brake parts for the International are non-existent. Used original spindles, but we took the backing plates, the drums, and the hubs off of like a Tri-5 Chevy. Okay. So they're more common. Yeah. So just made a spacer so that the hubs would fit off the Tri-5s. So if we need brake parts or anything like that, it's easy to get. Yeah. A lot more reliable too. The system they had is really an old system. Okay. And pretty much you just have to rebuild what you have. Yeah. So we kind of upgraded that a little bit, but other than that, you know, it's all stocker.
Yeah, this thing's awesome. I had so much fun today. But all right, thank you guys.
I appreciate everything.
I really appreciate it. It was a blast. Hey, thank you for watching Live Naked Cars. Please give us a big thumbs up and please subscribe. We'll see you soon.